Today I have two things to talk about today. Okay, the main idea for the video, and I wanted to let you guys know for anyone that's interested. Also, that for the next 2 weeks, I'm not going to probably be uploading more than maybe one or two videos a week. I know I made a promise to make a video a day, and I'm trying to keep that promise. I know yesterday I didn't release a video, but I thought it wouldn't be really that important because I had released two videos the day before. But yeah, next week and the next one, so this week and the next one, I'm not going to be uploading really almost any videos because I'm going to be dealing with a double exam week. Okay, so I'm gonna have exams basically the whole of this week and probably more than half of next week, I think. I don't remember when my last exam is, but more than halfway through the next week. So yeah, a week and a half basically full of exams. So yeah, sorry about that. But anyways, other than that, I wanted to talk about the main idea of the video. Okay, so I'm debating myself over if I should get a foldable phone. Okay, that's my struggle right now. Um, the agony, right? Of a first worlder. But yeah, I'm debating if I should get a foldable phone. Okay, but because I can't really afford a new one, so I'd have to get a old one. The only one that's really affordable right now are the OG Samsung foldables and the Pixel Fold, the original Pixel Fold, right? Which is about $400, which is still expensive for a phone. My phone right now, I think it costs 200, so it's still double what I spent on my last phone. But I think if I use it or if I like it, it would be really useful for me. But the main thing that a foldable really gives me or calls to me is the idea of media, right? I like watching media on a tablet. I like watching media as best as possible, right? And on a phone, I really can't watch videos or photos or read a PDF file or whatever. Um, can't really do that well. So I'm hoping that a foldable phone will give me more space, sort of like a tablet, to actually watch or see photos or read books on a better format, right? But that led me to thinking about videos, right? The original Pixel Fold is one of the only ones, only foldable phones that actually give you a larger screen for a 16 by 9 aspect ratio, right? The rest of the phones don't really actually improve when you open them. They don't actually give you a larger 16 by 9 video. The screen itself is larger, but the 16 by 9 video would fit inside the screen and wouldn't actually be larger on most foldable phones. So that got me thinking, what if uh, there was videos made specifically for the aspect ratio of foldable phones, which normally the inner screen tends to be around 3 by 4, that sort of aspect ratio. And that got me thinking, why? The problem with that, right, would be I'd have to find specific videos on YouTube that are made for that aspect ratio. And that ratio is really weird, right? Nobody makes those videos. In fact, people usually make videos in, even more panoramic than 16 by 9. I know a lot of channels that make even more stretched out videos. So I was thinking, well, what if you could make um, a video or a version of your video in a few aspect ratios and upload them, and then YouTube would automatically play the one that adapts better to your screen, or you could manually select it whether on depending on which one you want to see. It wouldn't be really hard to do on the creator side, right? Because you would really just have to, squish a bit of the things that appear on screen. For example, text and all of that would have to be squished, but it wouldn't be like that hard to do, to just make another version where all of the text and all of the um, photos or edits that you do are, kind of closer together or whatever, so that they are more easily seen on a, for example, 3x4, or even more stretched out for a bigger or more panoramic aspect ratio. I don't think that it would be really hard on the YouTuber side, and I don't think that it would be really hard on YouTube's side to add something like that. It would kind of be, in fact, kind of easy, right? It would just be like for example, like the options that they give you for subtitles, or the option that they give you for some videos that have dubs, right? It would just be like that, except for aspect ratio. What aspect ratio do you want, and which one adapts better to your screen or leaves out less black bars, right? I don't think that would be hard to do, and it would improve a lot, because yes, many screens are 16 by 9. Most TV screens are 16 by 9, and monitor screens are 16 by 9. But for example, most phones are not 16 by 9. They usually are more panoramic. As well as some, phones being more thick instead of more. But rarely is there a phone that actually is 16 by 9. So on every phone, you are losing a lot of valuable space. And now that foldable phones are getting, more popular, most foldable phones are, more square when you open them up. So that would be useful too. So I guess it would be, in my opinion, it would be really useful, and it wouldn't be really that hard. And the creators that don't want to do that extra step of making a video version specifically for that aspect ratio wouldn't have to do them. It's just an extra that you could do that wouldn't be so hard, and you could upload it on the same video as an option, right? As an option to make it adjust better to the screen that you're watching it on. And yeah, I guess that's the idea for this video. I think it would be really useful, and it would actually be, I think, healthier for the wider technological screen market, because it would allow for people, because the main thing that people are watching nowadays on their phones and on their computers is YouTube, right? People, they still watch Netflix and all of that, but they do it on their TVs. They don't do it on their phones or on their computers, right? So I think that would allow for computer screens and mobile screens to be made on different shapes without fear of not being able to watch comfortably your YouTube videos. So yeah, I mean, basically that's it. That's the idea of the video. I think it would be healthy for the screen making market, and I think it would be really cool to see that added by YouTube. I think it's an idea that could be really easy to do, and it would be really cool. So yeah, anyways guys, that's all that I have for today. Again, I'm sorry, but I'm not really going to be uploading next week or the next or the next of the next week. So yeah. Anyways, bye guys.